To call to order the May meeting of the Kingston Library Board of Trustees at 6:03. In attendance, we have trustees Carolyn Bromwich and Jen Quackenbush, and Library Director Donald Colon, myself, Emily Curtin. The first thing listed on the agenda is minutes approval, but without a quorum, we won't vote on minutes until the June meeting. So we'll table the two sets of minutes we have in the last 2 months and move on to the budget update.
Okay. So as I mentioned in my director's report, there were multiple meetings that I attended pertaining to the fiscal 25 budget request. We, at the Board of Selectmen joint meeting with FinCom, they did vote for the school budget as presented. So at the May 11th town meeting, there definitely will be a lot of discussion on the increases for not only the school, but other, town departments. So I just kind of wanted to put out there that, we may be seeing some fiscal challenges for 25. But as I mentioned at the last, trustees meeting, that I do have kind of an outline of, a plan should, cuts need to be made. But at this point, we are just moving forward with the full budget as presented until there is discussion for any cuts.
Great, thank you. And that will be determined this weekend because the 11th is the town meeting where they will be voting on the budget. And I would also like to put on the record that trustee Ralph Colorado has also it. Okay, so next on the agenda, alarm issues.
So yes, so recently there has been multiple instances where the double doors that lead to the children's and teen area, there has been a problem with the alarm with those. Basically the way it works is that the doors need to be shut in order to set the alarm. And what has been happening is that there has been changeover in staffing with the cleaning company, that the doors have been left open. So somehow, with the doors being left open, the alarm is being set. And Flight Alarm was basically saying that, we have an issue with this system. So what happened was one evening, because I did go through the surveillance camera to try to track down the timing, but at 9:02.
What if you actually saw someone setting off the alarm on that camera?
Right. At 9:02, the alarm was set because I confirmed that with the monitoring company. But the actual burglar alarm, which should have been triggered instantly, did not come in until 6:54 a.m. So multiple hours later. So with that, it's brought up a couple of discussions. Flight Alarm did come out to take a look at the the connections for those doors, as well as a bigger conversation took place with them, as well as myself and with the head of facilities in regards to doing a future project of updating the alarm system, which is original to the building.
Right, I was gonna say this, we've had this discussion before. This is like an end of life.
Yeah, this was supposedly a 10-year alarm and it's been 30 years. As well as the surveillance cameras that we have, it is an older system. I actually would like to invest in additional cameras, specifically for the Summer Street side of the building, as well as the Green Street side of the building where the playroom is, so that there is a camera at any access point. So the camera on Summer Street would, take care of like the emergency exit here in the adult section, as well as the back storage area, which could be an exit point. So that would be like one camera, and then one at the Green Street side, which is where the emergency exit is from the playroom. So then that way, all entry points are covered by some, a form of, surveillance camera. So there has been discussion about that with facilities and with, flight alarm. And so we'll be looking into that a bit more.
And just for the sake of it, if you change everything or improve everything, how much what are we looking at cost? Do we have any idea?
We do not, and that is why it's kind of been kicked down the can previously, because there weren't firm numbers. One of the things that I would like to see is, to be able to have remote access so that I can so from home, I can open up an app, look at the surveillance cameras. So basically what we have now as a system is that there is an internal IP address. So on my computer, and internally within the library, I can go to that IP address and log in and see the cameras, but there is no off-site access to that. So obviously that would be, a challenge. So that would be something that I would, look into, as being, an advancement.
Well, it seems reasonable considering the chances of library being broken into while you're in the library are very slim.
Exactly. Exactly. So I did, and I did have the discussion with Flight Alarm and the technician from Flight Alarm, did explain to me some of the details as we deal with, a lot of confidentiality and issues and things like that, that when these systems are set up and there are connections made on phones, that they cannot disconnect the phone to that system. So whether that means that if this enhancement comes to be, that there may need to be a phone for the director. Not that I personally care for that, but that, so that because that particular piece of technology cannot be disconnected from the system. Yeah,
right,
like
so
there's
it
something.
can't be a person.
Exactly. So, so
So you
that would
want
be
it to
some,
get burned.
yes, in so many words, So yes, but so, there are solutions, being looked into.
Community engagement is the fourth point on the agenda, which was the farmers market. And
So yes, so the farmers market, the season for the farmers market has started up again. So actually this Sunday is the first farmers market. We will not be attending this one. However, the librarian.
was it last? Oh, is it this Sunday?
This, yes, because it's the first Sunday of the month.
Yesterday. Because it would have.
Oh yeah, no, it was yesterday. Okay, the timeline has gone. The timeline has gone. It's. I still think I'm on Friday.
Okay.
So yeah. So no. So it was yesterday. So
Yes, let me know.
So beginning in June, myself, Pat, and Holly will be setting up at the the monthly farmers market to promote the library services, specifically like the upcoming summer reading programs, the library things, and just other, attributes to, get out there into the community. We were approached by the Council on Aging for Nick to go to the COA to do a monthly talk, which basically the idea was thinking that the exhibit talks that he does at the Adams, that he might just mirror that at the Council on Aging and just see what is the community response to those, kind of ideas and conversations. And it is the time of the year that the teen and children's librarians reach out to the schools and participate in outreach and meeting with classes. The CAT will be setting up a table at the school for, I don't remember the exact date because I think there was a couple of dates that they were working with to, be able to promote summer reading. And I know that Holly has been talking to the librarian at KIS to
About May 20th.
May 20th. There we go. Yes, to discuss, class visits and so forth to, promote the library and the services.
Great, thank you. Then we are going right into the director's report, so you can continue informing us.
Okay, so we touched upon, the budget a little bit. One big thing, which is that I will mention here that we are thrilled at, is that Karen will be returning tomorrow to her duties full-time. She has been out since the beginning of January. So I paid the last round of bills today in honor of that. So we will be thrilled to have her back. I did have some meetings with the Board of Selectmen, the Finance Committee. We talked about that. Met with the town administrator to discuss some personnel matters that are currently under negotiation, so public discussion can't take place in regards to that. I will be meeting with Karen sometime this week to review the fiscal 24 budget for the end of the year. To take a look at the accounts and basically for some of the accounts, take a look and see, every year the membership and dues account, which is the account that we pay the OCLN membership to, is always in a deficit. And the reason being is that we put in the budget what is initially proposed as the budget, the invoice amount for OCLN, but then what ends up happening is that there's discussions about add-on services later on, which then changes the actual assessment amount. So I think like the amount this year is probably like $700-800 difference, which is what the norm amount is, but it just gets paid out from another account that we have a remaining balance. For example, postage generally always has a little bit, since there have been Zoom meetings that, mileage hasn't been used and stuff like that. So we'll be taking a deep look at it to see what accounts, we really need to focus on to, spend to get to where we need to be for the the requirements. I did meet with the recycling committee to discuss potential program ideas over the summer. I stayed for their whole meeting, which was very educational and entertaining. So there were so many great ideas speaking to them. So I am going to be meeting with their chair. First, I'm going to meet with Holly and Pat to see what ideas, they're focused on in this larger arena of ideas for the recycling, reuse, and repurposing, and conservation and so forth.
That's the theme of summer reading.
Yes. So we're looking to do that. So I want to kind of talk to them so that there are some parallels with, with the type of programming and so forth that we're having. So I will be paring the ideas down once I speak to the chair of the recycling committee. They had, like I said, they had a lot of great connections and ideas for different programs. Today I met with Kat and, she selected prizes that came from sustainable sources and things like that. It was phenomenal ideas, that she had. So moving forward, there's going to be a lot of discussion about summer reading and what we can do. I am trying to figure out a plan to not have as many flyers printed, and just trying to think of maybe to have a digital kind of marketing for that, so that there isn't that kind of impact that, as we talk about conservation and so forth. So we'll see how that.
So just from the perspective of Ms. Holly coming to speak to KIS students, if there is a digital format for the information, it can go into their Google Classroom through the library.
Okay.
And that way they all get it, and you don't have, all those flyers don't have to be printed.
Excellent. Because I mean, many times we see folks just pull out their phones and take a picture of the flyer, so that could be the alternative with that. And once again, there is no update on Eversource. I know that they're working on other projects in the area and stuff, but there has been nothing for our, I do, because I have voiced concern that, basically we have a cement slab with an opening covered up with a piece of plywood and 2 orange cones. So besides being sightly, unsightly, I think that it could become a nuisance.
Yes.
It just looks half done.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is all that I have.
Thank you. Any questions for the staff reports were sent out with the statistics. Did you want to address the statistics at all, or let them stand?
I will let them stand only because I could not get them to print out. So
So everyone has access to those statistics as well as the staff reports. Any questions on those? Okay. Foundation and Friends update. Debbie is not with us this evening, so I don't have any specific information from them. I don't think that they've met again since the gala. So I'm sure they're going to be meeting this month at some point, and they'll have more to tell us at the next meeting. Payment of bills, we don't have any.
we don't have any.
Old business. I have something under old business. We had originally intended to do a luncheon for the staff to celebrate them during the National Library Workers Week. But it didn't work out because there was some staff on vacation, and in terms of making sure everybody was here to enjoy it and be celebrated, we decided to bump it. So now it will likely take place in June, and then we'll identify a date when everyone's here and we'll be able to do that. So I'll make sure I clear it with. Any other old business? Any new business? All right. One thing we do have to take care of, and it falls under new business, is we have to pick a date for June.
Yes. We do. And we're gonna wait.
We will have at least one new board member.
Do you want to pick July too, or just?
I think we'll wait just because then we'll have the. Let's see.
Third of the.
Third of the 10th.
Third is like. What we doing?
Let's do.
We did the 10th, then we could push out the July one, because 4th of July.
I agree.
Because I already know I'm gonna be away like
Same.
that week.
So let's do the 10th. We'll do the 10th at 6. I also want to just make a note publicly that Shannon Gauthier's term is ending. So I want to thank her for everything that she's done for the board, and I'll make sure that she received baked goods in a plant in exchange for all of her hard work. And that after the town elections, hopefully I'll still be here, and then and then we'll have ideally another new board member as well, since I believe both of us are running in a post. So,
And then at that point, I can speak with Jane and see about getting an investment date
that
on the
would be
schedule.
wonderful.
We'll just have to see what July and August look like in terms of vacation and people like that. It might be better to wait till September if people are not going to be around, but I can.
That makes sense. Great, then I think as long as there is no other new business, I will take a motion. If anyone's
I
going to make.
move to 6:23.
Second that.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Great, thank you.